Let's grade a batch of coins right from the start to the finish. I have here 12 coins that need to be graded, and 12 is a perfect amount because that's exactly how many fit on one of my sheets. But first, we have to take this PCGS coin out of its slab. It's pretty easy, just takes a knife and some pliers. I also want to make sure I keep this certificate because it has an RFID chip in it that when scanned shows you the true view of the coin. And it has adhesive on it so I can just stick it to the back of my own holder and it'll still work. Which is a pretty cool feature that I can make use of. Now to continue from here, I have to take off this pair of gloves because it's covered in plastic shards. I won't throw them away, I can still reuse them on the next coin that needs to be cracked, and I'll just grab a new pair for the grading. Now the first thing that needs to be done is flips. We need to put all of the coins into one of these flips here. This is the inner flip of the entire graded coin, and it's made of Mylar. Mylar is inert and it won't damage the coins. So here they all are, put into their Mylar holders. But since we only need one coin per side of the holder, I'm just going to cut each of these holders in half so that we have one coin each. I also went ahead and straightened out all the coins, which is necessary so that they look nice. And the next step is to get them heat sealed. I paid $30 for this heat sealer on Amazon and it works perfectly. All I have to do is put the coin into the sealer, press it down, hold it for about 15 seconds, and then it's sealed. Once the coin is sealed, I wait a few seconds for the plastic to harden and then I slowly peel it off the tape. This leaves me a pretty good edge. It's a little bit white just from the heat. I can't avoid that with this heat sealer, but it doesn't look too bad on the white background. Then I just cut it to size, and I also round off the corners, but it didn't show that. And now we have our stage 1, a heat-sealed coin. Now that I've heat-sealed all the coins, they're ready to go into the larger flips. And the lines are covered up by that white background like the certificates will. The toonie, which was already done to begin with, shows us exactly what those rounded edges look like. This just makes sure there's no dust or debris on the inner flip before I put it into the outer flip. And for the outer flip, I put it in king side out on the shorter side of the flip. And I'll explain what that means in just a second. These flips are never made perfectly. One side is almost always longer than the other. And since the certificate is always a bit bigger than the coin's inner flip, it works out great if I put the inner flip on the short side and the certificate on the long side. And I put the king side out so that when it's folded over the certificate, you get date out, which is how I prefer the coins. Some collectors prefer to display the king side out, which I can absolutely do if you send in your coins. I just do it this way because that's what I prefer. Now the coins are very close to being done. With all the easy work done, now we have to make a certificate for each coin here. It's pretty easy because I have a template on my computer that I just add all the information to. Then I print it out to some cheap Walmart cardstock, which works absolutely perfectly, which I then cut out with my OLFA perforation cutter. I got it for about $20 on Amazon, and it shipped of all places from Japan. It works perfectly in giving a perforated edge, which gives the certificates a more professional look, like you can see here. Then the fun part is tearing them. With all the certificates separated, we can put them into the flips, making sure that the information is on the inside, so that when we fold it over, the information is behind the coin. And now with the certificates and the coins, we're going to be left with what looks like a completed flip. And while it looks like it's there, it's not quite done yet. The next step is to heat seal the inner flip into the outer flip and the certificate as well. So we bring out the heat sealer once again. And this time we set it to a lower setting just because this plastic is a lot softer. Then I pull it off slowly, and we have a completely sealed coin. And while the majority of the coins are now finished, they can go in a binder, the PCGS coins still need their certificates stuck onto the back of my flips just so I can access that TrueView. And now we have 12 coins that resemble ICCS flips for a fraction of the cost.